Right, here we are in Lamlash, and I've got a treat in my hand, so I'm just going to get Sally, give me the paw here. There we go. She got it. I think she knew I had the treat in my hand because it's a bit bright today. Oh, a finger in front here. Okay, so Sally's got a wee treat. She's happy. As I was saying, I'm in the Lamlash, and this time I'm just sitting on a bench. So I'm just having a wee look about, as I should be doing, instead of walking about everywhere. Sometimes you should just sit down and do nothing. And that's what I'm doing here. Oh. There's Woody. Going a bit off the beaten track today. Just to go up and down the front. Because not doing original pairing. Well, if you're not old like me, original pairing, he just got fed up. There was a programme on the telly and he got fed up, and he just walked straight into the sea, you know, like giving up with everything. The life and the rise and fall of Reginald Perrin, that's what it was called, with Leonard Rossiter. That was the name of the guy. Very funny, a terrible, you know, funny but dark comedy, you know. This terribly depressed guy with the kind of humdrum of life in the office and just the routine, and every day he'd leave home and his wife would, you know, hand him his bag because she was like, you know, staying at home, and she'd have a nice day and he would say, I won't. And he genuinely meant it, you know. He wouldn't have a nice day. Let's see where Sally is now. She's here. Well, Sally was at the vet yesterday because she goes once a month for an arthritis jab, and also just gives a chance to just keep an eye on her, since she's got things wrong with her that surprisingly she's still managing to get on with, you know, with what she's got wrong with her. 3 months ago, you know, she was on the floor, and now she's slowing down, but she's recovered, you know, she's got all the weight back and eating properly and stuff, so it's nice to just keep an eye on her. But the main thing is she gets this jab every month. It's the latest thing, and I'm not a big believer in medicines usually that have side effects, and the side effects for me can quite often be worse than the benefits, you know. I don't really take medicines as a last resort if nothing natural would work. But this is the latest one for arthritis, which uses your own body's hormones to reverse the arthritis with no known side effects at all, because your own body's doing the work. And anyway, I got persuaded in the end to try this, and it seems to be working well, you know. So anyway, so she goes for a wee jab, and when I was there, I met Gavin Bell. He was there as well, and he was asking how old Sally is, and I told him, well, Sally will be 16 in a few days, you know. Just come round, let's see what Sally is. 16 in a few days, give or take 6 months, because she's a rescue, so we'll only know that she was 12 in a number of months when she came to Arran. So if you take the middle of it, you know, 12 and 6 months, could have been 12 in 1 month or 12 and 11 months. Then if she was exactly 12 and a half at that point, then that would make her 16 in a few days. And that's a birthday I didn't think she would have reached, to be honest. Still quite alert there, isn't she? Looking at the dog over there. 10-speed doggy. And actually, the nice thing is, she saw that dog from quite far away there, and I was wondering if her eyesight was a lot worse than that. And clearly, you can see she's managing to see that dog from quite far away, and she's still looking at that dog. It's nice to see, isn't it? I thought her eyes were worse than that. I was quite worried about them, to be honest. So it's, I guess because she's not looking towards the sun or at the brightness, maybe her eyes were working a lot better because she's looking away from the sun. Don't know. Anyway, that was encouraging. Okay, so yeah, so I was at this Woody away down at the shore now, and you know, focusing on Woody just for a second. There we go. Our local park, isn't that amazing? I'll zoom across from there to the sunlight on the water, which just fascinates me. I love it. This isn't the best one because of course the tide's out, so there's not an awful lot of water there to reflect it back, but there's enough. Anyway, so Gavin, yeah, said Sally's 16, and that's fine. And then we both agreed that neither of us had ever been bothered about birthdays, you know. And I thought I was pretty much alone in that. You know, all my birthdays I just didn't care about them, and that's all the way through my life. And I'm a different person from what I was when I was young, a completely different person. But some things never change, and one of them was I've always just seen a birthday as a numerical coincidence. It doesn't actually have any significance, apart from, of course, I suppose, the opporchancity to have a celebration. And when I was young I used to celebrate a lot, but not just on my birthday, just all the time. Anyway, but nowadays I don't drink, so really, there were any other day for me, 18, 21, 25, 30, 40, 50, not bothered. And Gavin Bell was the same. He said exactly the same thing. He's never been bored about it at all. So that was kind of like in a way refreshing, because I thought most people, the other way of looking at it, which is quite possibly true, you know, it's just very boring not celebrating your birthday, and it is. But for me, I'd rather be doing this, to be honest, just sitting out and enjoying the sunshine and the sea and being with the dog and taking this in, you know, than sitting in a pub. But each to their own, you know. I appreciate that. I'll just point it back the way at the shops there. And in fact, I'll take it further than that. I think it might be nice not to celebrate any birthdays, or even to know what age you are. Wouldn't that be nice? Like, if I go back to where I was talking about with Sally being almost 16, and I've just said she's a worry, you know, because I know she's old. At 16, how old is she? Well, if you multiplied it by 7, the traditional way, is that 112? Yeah, 7, 10, 70, 7, 6 is 42. 112. Clearly she's not 112, because nobody lives till they're 112. And there's a flaw in that argument anyway. And that's the flaw. You know, because dogs can live longer than 16, and people don't live longer than 112 as a rule. So it's not very accurate. And I did read the formula for Westies years and years ago back, which I'll just repeat. And that was 9 years for the first 2, and then 5 years for every year after that. And at 16, that would mean that she's 9 years for each of the first 2 is 18, and then 14 times 5 is 70. She'll be 88 in a few days, right? Now, that I think is an accurate estimation of where Sally is in her life. 88 years old, which is very old, and my other 2 Westies didn't live that long, despite all the chances they had. And this one, I've said before, hasn't had the chances. She had a rubbish diet, and she had a lot of things wrong with her when she was only 12. So to be 88 years old, or as I look at her today, 87 and 3/4, 87 and 9/10, is amazing, you know, just to reach that age. And also to be able to trot about in the grass, although she was a bit stiff today, but we did run a little bit. So it would be nice, from my point of view, if we didn't have birthdays, if we didn't even know what age we were, because then we wouldn't worry about older people or expect the worst. Maybe we would always just be full of hope and expectation, you know, because we just are. We would celebrate the day, celebrate being, and not worry about what age and how much life's left, or whether things are going to go wrong, or the fact that you're, you know, less fast than you used to be. Sally doesn't worry about that stuff. It's only me that worries about that. She's got the right idea. All she's doing is lying out in the grass and enjoying herself, and that's it. So that's what I'm thinking for today. It would be good if we didn't know what age we are, and in fact maybe we could do that, you know, just forget about what age we are, or at least live with it. When I'm in running races, for example, I compete in against all ages of people, but in particular I can compete against people of my own age group. So you can look up the age group you're in. In mine it's super veteran, that's what it's called. I'm a super veteran, which sounds amazing, like Superman or something, except for it's not really. It means extra old veteran, super old veteran, that's what it means. Old, invisible in brackets. And so I compete in that age range, and I can compare myself with other people of the same age bracket directly, you know. Also, I can take my performance, age 57, and transfer it back to the age, the performance I would have been capable of at, say, age 18 or 25, and compare it directly. So even if I was 5 minutes slower, for example, over 5k now, that might be a better performance, allowing for my age. So you can allow for it, or you can actually ignore it altogether and just get on, charge about, and ignore it. And that's the way I tend to look at it. Just get out and enjoy yourself, and everybody's got the disadvantages and their advantages, and make the most of what you've got. And that's what Sally does. The only other thing I'd say about age is something I was discussing with my Uncle Christopher once, and when he was telling me what age he is, you know, he's my last remaining relative, blood relative, that's from the generation before me. And anyway, I forget if he said to me or I said to him, but one of us said it, and that is that somebody who is old or older than somebody else can be seen as both weak and unlucky by the younger person. You know, weak because physically, mentally, they're not quite as capable as they were when they were young, and unlucky just because they've got older and they've got less life left, etc., and less capacity to do things than they used to have. Old and weak and unlucky, and I see it as the opposite of that, because they are the person who has endured all the rigours of life. They've got a proven track record. They've gone through everything, and they've not just survived it, they've overcome every obstacle, and they're still here and they're still standing strong and proud, you know. So they're strong, and they're lucky because they are still here. Hurry! I'm just talking. They're still here. Hey, Billy. Wee doggy. Oh, silly. So lucky and strong. They're the survivor. The young person doesn't know if they're going to make it to their age. They're going to get through everything. And from a personal point of view, I'm still pretty able. You know, I can get about, do anything that I want. That other person might not know. You know, they can't know that they can do that at my age. So I'm lucky and strong, and as is anybody else, in my shoes, so to speak, or in my running shoes, as since I was talking about veteran runners and things. And that's the way to look at it. If you're going to think about age at all, lucky and strong. That's the way to look at it. There we go. But in any case, even if we are meant to be ignoring birthdays or anything else, I'm not going to ignore Sally's 16th. Because she's got a lot of things wrong with her, and she's been through the wars, and she's about to become an adult. Hopefully she won't run away from home, move out. I hope not. Okay, there's my thoughts for today. Get going now, Sally. Okay, I'll close with a shot of the sun. In fact, just before I do that, I think I'll just shoot across there as well and show you that massive cruise liner ship thing that's going past. You can see it with the zoom fluctuating in and out as it does. There we go. Pretty big. Back again. Okay, that's me done. See you later.